Good evening, it's Dr. Jen Kordonsky from Optimal Spine Chiropractic, and tonight's class is Healthy Eating Made Easy. And I'll tell you, we have three main categories of people that we take care of here in this office. The vast majority of our adult patients initially seek care because of some sort of pain, most commonly neck pain and back pain, as you could imagine. Now, most of those people who come in with initial pain end up learning and understanding and seeking to correct the underlying cause of the pain. So there's many people who are under care here in this practice who are no longer in the acute stages of their pain, and yet they're still under care, even if they're feeling great or a lot better than they were, but they're working on the underlying cause of the problem. And then the majority of those people, after they've gotten the initial corrective process over, learn that there's so much more benefit from chiropractic care than just the initial corrective phase of care can offer. They learn and experience, typically, that there's a profound effect on health and well-being, and the majority of our patients end up choosing to have lifelong benefit of ongoing chiropractic care in their life. So we have people who are in pain, we have people who are, the pain is a distant memory, and yet no matter where you are in the different phases of chiropractic care, we urge you to take a look at what you're eating, take a look at your nutrition. We always cover this topic as often as we can because it can really make an impact on the results that you get from your care. If you're in those early stages and we're still struggling with pain, what you're eating could change that. It could make the pain more persistent. It could help the pain resolve more quickly. And then in the rest of the stages of care, of correcting the underlying problem, we can accelerate healing by giving our body what it needs. And as far as lifelong health and well-being goes, no one is going to argue that your nutrition has a lot to do with that. So sadly, most people don't really put a lot of thought into what they're eating beyond worrying about their weight. And I know a lot of people who are eating very poorly and even experiencing symptoms of poor health or arthritic pain or other issues in their life. But because they're a healthy weight or because they're very thin, they don't think about the food that they're putting in their mouths. And then other people are thinking about it only in terms of, what can I eat or not eat to lose weight? And it's far more important than that. Your nutrition, what you put in your mouth, affects at a profound level your health and your well-being far beyond what you weigh. Of course, that has a lot to do with it, but that's not where we're focusing our energy and our attention right now. What we want is for you to be able to eat healthier and impact the way you feel. So obviously, I've mentioned a couple times, pain is directly related to inflammation. In fact, all pain is inflammation in your body. And foods have the power to help quell inflammation, or they can be accelerating and aggravating an inflammatory state in your body. You can have a degenerated disc. You can have arthritic changes in a joint and either feel the pain or not feel the pain, depending upon the level of inflammation present. So the damage may never be correctable. You can have that problem for the rest of your life, but you can feel it or not feel it depending upon the inflammation. And the inflammation is aggravated by foods that we eat. So it's really important that we pay attention to this. Think about your mental health, your mood, your well-being in that sense. The things that you eat have an impact there as well. So much so that they can be influencing anxiety and depression even at clinical levels. But just your everyday average person's mood will be affected by their blood sugar levels, the type of food that they're eating, whether they're nourishing their body or not. So that's a concern. And of course, your physical health, the health of your cells, presently, next week, and in 30 years from now, depends in a large part on what food you put into your body. You've heard the expression, I'm sure, you are what you eat. But think about it. You literally are what you eat. Every day your body has to make new cells. Every part of you is new approximately every 9 months. Every cell has died and been replaced by a new cell. What are those cells made out of? The foods that we eat. That's where your body gets the ingredients to make these new cells. So what your body makes them out of is either junk food or health food, and it's something that's under our control. So it just makes sense that if you care about your physical and emotional health and well-being now and especially in the future, that you're going to care about what you're eating. However, it's complicated, right? It's confusing. There's so much contradictory information out there. It can be incredibly overwhelming. And if you're anything like me, you have a lot of things on your plate, right? We've got work concerns, family concerns, the back to school, all of the things that are going on in our lives. And who has the extra time to do the research, learn about nutrition, understand what foods you should be eating, and then go do the shopping and the cooking and the prepping and all of that? So I get it. It's a big production, and I'm with you. Like, I just want to eat. I just want to eat what's easy, and I want to eat what's delicious. So we're going to tackle this from a different angle. The approach that we like to take here is small things matter. And we want to harness the compound effect, the ability of a small change over time to have a dramatic impact on your health. So we're going to talk about the simplest, the easiest, just the most basic little tweaks that you can make that are actually impactful upon your health, that are going to help you move the needle and get the ball rolling in the right direction. And then, like the snowball effect, like saving just a few dollars. If you started doing that when you were just a teenager with your first job and you just kept saving, the compounding interest, you know, it's remarkable the amount of money that someone can accumulate, as opposed to somebody who waits until, oh my gosh, retirement is getting close, I better start saving. This is what we're looking to harness. The small, simple, easy, not going to take a lot of willpower, not going to take a lot of effort changes that you can kind of create these little, we call them micro habits of health, and build on that and get the momentum of change going in the right direction. Basically, the body that you have 7 days from now depends upon the choices that you make, all the tiny little choices for the next 7 days. And that's true for the next 30 days, and it's true for the next 30 years. But the longer we go out, the more magnified the change is, the more noticeable. You're not going to see those changes so much in 7 days, but time will tell the tale. So we are going to look at 7 different categories that I find to be the most powerful categories where we can make a dramatic impact in how we're fueling our body in eating healthier to experience the improvements in our health. And there's over 50 different little tips that I thought of. This is not a list of 50 things that you must do. This is 50 little ideas to spark your imagination, and you are going to think about and pick what's one thing that will be easy for you to do. And I'll tell you, over 15 years ago, when I first started delving into nutrition and trying to make improvements in how I nourished my body, the first thing that I did was just start cutting back a little bit on the amount of sugar that I put in my coffee until I got accustomed to drinking black coffee. And that's the way I prefer and enjoy it now. but it was just this little incremental. I just put a little less, a little less, a little less every week. And that was the first little change I made. The next thing that I did was I made this commitment to just read labels and not buy a food item if it had high fructose corn syrup in it, monosodium glutamate, or artificial sweeteners. So I would just look at labels and put it down and pick something else. And it was a little easy thing for me to do. And that has literally evolved and evolved and evolved to where I am today, 15 years or more down the road. It's a completely different way of looking at nutrition, way of eating, and it was easy. There was never a time when it was really hard and I had to, change everything all at once. Those kind of changes, they just tend not to stick. They tend not to last when we try to make a drastic turnaround. So here we go. Category number 1, and we have a really nice little handout you can ask us for in person, or you can ask us to email it to you. But category number 1 is cutting back on sugar without adding artificial sweeteners. Now, sugar is very inflammatory, so any pain condition is going to be aggravated by sugar being in your diet. We all know that sugar is calories with no nutrition. So what's the point? We want to get as much sugar out of the diet as possible. But it's tricky, right? Because it tastes delicious and it's in everything. But I want you to think about the impact that it has on your body. That when you take in sugar, that it's aggravating inflammation, making you feel worse. It's creating a situation where there's accelerated aging in your body. Of course, it could lead to metabolic problems, pre-diabetes and diabetes, which are very serious conditions. But I want to caution you that we don't sub out sugar for artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are chemicals that your body just doesn't need. And there's ongoing debate about whether or not they're safe or not safe. But here's the thing. When I was considering this for myself, I looked at the research and it was like, okay, some people say it's safe, some people say it's not safe, but are they helpful in any way? And the studies that show that people who consume artificial sweeteners weigh no less, lose no more weight than the people who drink or eat the sugar versions of the same food. Because what happens is your body is consuming this sweet substance, or you're consuming this sweet substance, but it's not coming with the calories, and your body is confused by this. So the insulin pumps out anyway, your body reacts as if it's having that sugar, and most likely you end up craving it later or eating it in some other form. So if they don't help a person to lose any weight or improve their metabolic profile, their insulin resistance, then what's the point in putting those unnecessary chemicals in your body? So category 1 is cutting back on sugar without adding artificial sweeteners. So you can do like I did and start tapering the amount of sugar that you put in your coffee. Try using like flavor enhancers for water. There are 2 brands. I use True Lemon all the time, the little packets. They're stevia sweetened, so it's not an artificial sweetener. It's not sugar either. And the other one I think is called Water Drops. So it just gives you, a little more flavor to your water instead of drinking a sugary or artificially sweetened beverage. If you want to swap out a soda, there are soda brands that are sweetened with stevia. One brand in particular that I like to get for my kids for parties is called Zevia. And they have, cola and all the different flavors that are no sugar, no artificial sweeteners. If you're baking or you're making something that you want to add sugar to, you could try using the natural sweeteners that are less or no calories. There's monk fruit, there's stevia, there's erythritol, there's a couple different things that you can experiment with. Category number 2 is drink more water. Now, this is not directly related to eating healthier, right? It's drinking healthier, but it does go very well, because drinking more water is one of those kind of keystone healthy habits that actually leads to other healthy habits. So it's a great place to start, really simple. One thing that I did to create the habit of drinking more water is just commit to 8 ounces of water before I get my coffee. Usually my first go-to bathroom, then coffee pot. And I just committed to drinking 8 ounces of water before coffee. You can do the same thing, maybe 10-15 minutes before mealtime and say, I'm going to drink 8 ounces of water before mealtime. You'll be better hydrated, you'll be less hungry. You can choose a water bottle. So this is, my go-to cup. I know this is 20 ounces, so I like to fill it 4 times in a day. So choose a water bottle and set a goal number of refills and strive for that. Swap out one other beverage. If you have an iced tea or a soda, and that's your go-to, maybe just swap out one for a water every day. Category number 3 is ditching the bad fats and adding healthy ones. Fats are very important in every cell in your body. The membrane of every cell needs fat, and your brain needs fat. And if we are consuming the unhealthy or bad fats, this is what your body has to make itself out of. And they are extremely inflammatory. So chronic pain is very often, a large component of it is having your good fats and your bad fats out of ratio. And you can get a blood test to check your omega-3 profile, but I suggest you just start making changes and moving those unhealthy fats out. So we want to ditch the corn oil, the canola oil, the vegetable oils, and I think it's really simple just to switch out the products that you have in your home and have a healthier version of cooking oil in the house. Now, pretty much every packaged food that you purchase is going to be made with unhealthy oils. So another tip might be to try making your own salad dressing. And definitely consider taking a high quality fish oil supplement. Easy thing to do, isn't going to be, a big challenge to you to add that or switch out an oil in your cabinet. But these are powerful changes that over time could really lead to you being healthier, happier, and in less pain. Category number 4 is cutting back on the unhealthy chemicals. I already mentioned the artificial sweeteners. So start reading labels. You can do like I did and just say, I'm not going to buy anything that has monosodium glutamate in it. Glutamate and aspartame are 2 what we call excitotoxins. They're actually toxic to the nerve system. So they're particularly troublesome, and it's been shown in research that people with fibromyalgia, glutamate and the aspartame are problematic for them. But they're involved in pain conditions. They're not good for you. So start looking on labels for that. High fructose corn syrup I mentioned before. You might want to switch just one category of foods or just one type of food from conventional to organic. Some suggestions, if this is the one little swap that you want to do, is look at the environmental working group, look up the Dirty Dozen, and you'll see the list of the 12 plus foods that are most highly contaminated with pesticides. So you can say, you know what, this is on the Dirty Dozen list, and I love blueberries, so I'm going to buy organic blueberries from now on, and I'm not going to buy conventional blueberries. Things that are on the Clean 15 list, you don't have to worry about swapping out there, but you check the Dirty Dozen list. You might consider swapping out animal products. So saying, I'm going to only buy meats that are organic or butter that's organic. The higher fat content a food has, the more likely the pesticide contamination reaches you. So that's something to consider if you're saying, I'm going to swap out milk or what have you for an organic version. And then the last category of foods to consider switching to organic would be crops that are heavily sprayed with pesticides. And that would be wheat, corn, and soy. So I always choose organic bread and organic corn chips because, wheat and corn are heavily contaminated with pesticides. There's also pastas that are made from chickpeas and lentils. They're actually surprisingly good, so you may want to experiment with that. Category 5 is add more veggies. Vegetables are our most potent source of nutrition, the antioxidants that are going to help your body heal, repair damage, slow down aging. There's compounds in vegetables that they're really just starting to discover and understand, but there's compounds that help protect you against cancer, protect your eyesight. So eat the rainbow is great advice. You really want to strive for like 12 servings a day, which seems overwhelming, but if you just add 1 serving and start from there and just kind of get the habit going, this is how we do it. And a serving is really only half a cup, which isn't really that much when you think about it. So here's my list of ways to add more veggies. Number 1, get yourself set up and learn how to cook some great steamed broccoli really easily. I've got a pot that has a steamer basket and a lid. It's really easy, just sits all together, and it's really easy to just throw some broccoli in there. I know it's 8 minutes and it's steamed perfectly, so when all else fails, it's an easy vegetable side. Get a really big sheet pan and learn how to roast vegetables. This is my other go-to. I roast veggies several nights a week for dinner, and I got the super huge sheet pan from Wilton, and you just put a piece of parchment paper on there, throw your vegetables on there, toss them with a little oil, salt, and pepper, and a hot oven, like 400, 420 even, 15-20 minutes, and you've got delicious roasted veggies. This works great for cauliflower, and then that cauliflower can make a great sub for pasta, which is another one of my tips here. If you roast cauliflower and then use it like it was your pasta, it's a great, delicious way to add some veggies. Here's another idea. Throw your leftover veggies from dinner the night before into scrambled eggs. If you can get vegetables into your breakfast, you are starting the day off on the right foot. Keep frozen spinach and or kale on hand in the freezer. I leave my bag with a scooper in it. It's really easy to add to smoothies. You can add it to rice, add it to pasta, soups, chilies, ground beef, anything. Just throw a scoop of the frozen, mine is a spinach kale mixture, and it just adds a little, and the kids don't even pay attention. It's like seasoning to them now. Another thing to keep on hand in the freezer is riced cauliflower, because that can make a great side. It can make a great addition to any of those stir fries or soups or anything like that, and it's just easy and ready to go. Try a side salad with every dinner. Just always have an appetizer salad. Try the pre-bagged washed coleslaw, or even better, broccoli slaw. Grab that from the grocery store, have that on hand, because you can throw that into rice or pasta or stir fries. You could throw it into your salads to boost the nutrition instead of just lettuce. It's easy. It's just already ready to grab and throw in there. You can grate a carrot or a zucchini into tomato sauce. You can substitute cauliflower for rice or pasta. Like I said, it works well when you roast it for pasta. Even easier is just throw the cauliflower in your steamer basket, and when it's done steaming, it's really soft, just smash it with your potato smasher, and now you have cauliflower rice. Try spiralized vegetable noodles. They sell them already cut in the grocery store, or you can get an inexpensive spiralizer and make zucchini noodles or butternut squash noodles yourself. You can pre-bake a few small sweet potatoes. That makes a great nutritious breakfast, especially if you pair it with an egg or a little sausage or beans for some protein. If you're going to do a smoothie for breakfast, throw some veggies in it. You can throw cucumber, you can throw zucchini, you can throw spinach in, and it really doesn't affect the flavor so much. Now, spinach will definitely affect the color, but you probably won't even notice that you've added veggies to your smoothie. You can pre-bake what I call egg cups. So chopped veggies, eggs, cheese if you want, and bake it into a muffin tin. And then you have grab-and-go breakfast. You can add grated carrot or zucchini to your overnight oats. Like I said, if you can start the day with vegetables, you're going to get a lot closer to that number of servings. That would be ideal. You can actually eat leftovers for breakfast. I know we're very conditioned to think there's breakfast foods, lunch foods, and dinner foods, but you can absolutely have leftovers for breakfast. So if you had a healthy dinner, makes a great healthy breakfast. Swap out a sandwich. Anything you'd put in a sandwich, you can just throw on a salad instead. Or I love the idea, especially because the season is changing, making a nice soup that is loaded with veggies. We've got a big pot of it, and lunch is ready for the whole week. Category number 6 is adding fruit. I am just slightly less passionate about adding fruit as I am vegetables, because fruit is sweet. It has a lot of natural sugar in it, so we don't want to overdo it. But things like using fruit instead of a dessert, a great way to add nutrition and fiber, all the benefits that fruit has, and sub out a less healthy option. If you've never tried frozen cherries or frozen mangoes, just semi-defrosted, makes an amazing, delicious dessert, and you don't have to do anything to it. You can also try making banana ice cream by throwing frozen bananas in a blender. I use protein powder and a little almond milk. The last category is subbing a snack. Now, snacks can be a very important part of a healthy diet. Especially for their ability to keep you from getting overly hungry. Because let's face it, when we get overly hungry, we tend to make poorer choices. Or we get hungry and we just grab whatever is available, fast food, junk food, what have you. So if you had some convenient, healthy options and you could stave off that ravenous hunger, then you're more prone to make some better choices. So some options. A quality meal replacement shake and a shaker cup I keep here at the office. That way, if I'm starving, I can go to that. A non-junk food, either meal replacement or granola bar, keep one in your purse, one in your backpack, what have you. A bag of almonds in your drawer. Having apples and celery and peanut butter in your fridge. That's a great, easy snack. I really would highly encourage you to take 10 minutes at least once a week and just wash and prep a bunch of celery, cucumbers, peppers, whatever your thing is. And I just have a large Tupperware that's got the veggies in it. It's ready to go. It's a great snack anytime. It works very well in my family for the pre-dinner munchies when everyone's like, what's for dinner? Is it ready yet? And I have that, and I grab the tub of hummus, or you can have some dip. And there's just another easy way to get more veggies in your body. Look for those pre-washed bags of veggies, sugar snap peas and snow peas, even broccoli or cauliflower already cut up and ready to go. Makes life very easy. But the idea here is this is just a smattering of ideas. Maybe you have some great ideas that I didn't mention, but pick one. Pick something that's going to be easy and fun for you to start adding more nutrition to your life and just get the ball rolling. I would love to hear from people. We would love to hear your ideas. If you come in the office, share them. But if you share a great idea that you already use to help get more nutrition into your diet, or there's an idea that you have or you just heard and you want to shout out like, hey, I'm going to do this. And you comment on it, we're going to throw everyone who gives an idea that they're either using or going to use into a basket, and we're going to have a prize. So we strongly encourage you to comment either on Facebook or on YouTube when you watch this video. Don't forget to check out our other videos on YouTube. And I'm going to ask one thing, is that you share this video with a friend and ask them to do the one thing with you. And then have a little fun with it. Text each other a picture of the, snack that you subbed out, or whatever it is. Get a friend involved, and there's accountability, and it makes it more fun. The key here is that if it's small, it's simple, and it's easy, and you stick with it, it's going to make an impact on your health and your life before you realize it. And the idea is one step at a time is how we build sustainable health and sustainable results. And that's what we want for you. We want you to feel better fast, and we want you to be the healthiest, strongest, best version of you possible. So I'm excited to hear what everyone has to say, some good tips, and I look forward to chatting with you guys next week.